possible presidential candidate Lindsey Graham was talking to Chuck Todd recently about polarization in the media. Now, he reportedly, during that segment, took a little bit of a shot at both Rachel Maddow and Sean Hannity. So, Hannity, understandably, possibly upset, brought on Lindsey Graham to clarify some of those statements. Now, let's take a look at that segment first.
Early last week, shortly after declaring his candidacy, Graham sat down with NBC News and seemed to take a shot at yours truly. Watch for yourself.
Write the Constitution today. I think it'd be a great Saturday Night Live sketch. Yes, I'm trying to get to Lorne Michaels. Okay, so you're at Philadelphia Hall. Right. You got satellite trucks parked outside. You know, Ben Franklin comes outside. You know, got Rachel Maddow and Sean Hannity jump on over. Don't give in, Ben. Just think how hard it is in today's 24/7 news cycle, talk radio, cable television, and money. There is a group telling you to say no about everything.
Here now to talk about those remarks as well as his 2016 run, the man himself, South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham. Senator, let me start with the second part first.
Hey. Hey.
I love when you go on with liberal commentators like Chuck Todd and take shots at me. That's great.
You can handle it.
I can handle it. You're right. I don't mind at all, and I'm not taking it personally. Here's my question. How well do you know me? And I mean this because
Very well, I think.
I have a conservative solution caucus.
Hey. No, I'm not upset. Oh, no, you're taking shots at me? No, I can handle it. I'm not upset. I don't take it personally. Except that I'm totally taking it personally right now. How well do you know me? How well do you know me? Sounds like you're taking it kind of personally, Sean. But, okay. So, anyway. So that's fun. Now, let's get to a little bit of substance. Now, as I said, Lindsey Graham made that whole comparison because he was talking about polarization in the media. So now they're going to talk a little bit about polarization. And during this discussion, Sean Hannity is going to make a pretty awful comparison. Let's take a look.
Let me deal with this word polarization because you're claiming that we're responsible for polarizing, and I'm not even going to dispute the term, although I don't take credit for being polarizing to the whole country. Wasn't Martin Luther King Jr. polarizing in a good way, standing up for justice? He was polarizing figure, right?
I mean,
and maybe,
absolutely. You're sure.
And wasn't Ronald Reagan
you pushed the conservatives
when he took on a sitting president in '76? I have 3 articles in front of me that describe Reagan as polarizing. He was polarizing, right?
Did he just make a comparison between him and not only Ronald Reagan? Well, because of course every conservative wants to be compared to Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan, Saint Ronald Reagan, Saint Ronnie. Of course, I'm like Ronald Reagan. Which, by the way, in the current GOP, Ronald Reagan would be called a liberal. I'm just saying, raise taxes 11 times, sign an assault weapons ban. You know, that whole big government thing. Yeah, Ronald Reagan. But no. He actually made a comparison between him and Martin Luther King Jr. He was polarizing, in a good way. He was fighting for justice. Yeah, but the difference between Martin Luther King and Sean Hannity is that Sean Hannity, yes, both polarizing, definitely agreed. But Sean Hannity certainly does not standing up for justice. He's not polarizing in a good way. He's polarizing in the worst way possible. Now, of course, Lindsey Graham is not going to say that. Of course. No, they're having a corporate conversation. They're actually buddies. But nonetheless, he's going to disagree with Sean Hannity. And he's going to actually tell him, kind of knock it off.
Here's what we've concluded here. You say I'm responsible for polarization. You're polarizing on impeachment. You're polarizing on the surge. Reagan was polarizing, taking on a sitting president. Martin Luther King Jr. was polarizing in a good way. So being polarizing is not necessarily a bad thing. And I've laid out my solutions.
Absolutely right.
So you can apologize now.
Well, I'll apologize if I've hurt your feelings, and I think that would be hard for me to do, knowing you pretty well. But what I am saying is that your solutions don't work. At the end of the day,
my solutions don't work.
Get,
securing the border,
your proposal,
living within our means,
won't work that way.
So
you live in a
don't
world
spend money
where
you
there's
don't
just
have. Not securing the border.
Well, how do you get Democrats to agree with that?
Well, you guys have a majority in the House and Senate, and I'm hoping you have a Republican president in 2016, starting in 2017. At some point, you guys got to take a stand. You know, you said you were going to repeal and replace health care. It hasn't happened yet. 5 years ago.
Well, we've got a Democratic president. I don't think you're ever going to repeal and replace his signature issue when he's still president.
And you didn't use it.
Well, you wanted to shut the government down, expecting that unless Obama repeals the signature issue, we were going to shut down the entire federal government. That made zero sense to me.
I think there comes a point where
made zero sense to me.
I'm like Winston Churchill. I believe in principle stands.
I believe that you're a principled fellow, but I've come to conclude that the Republican Party and the country as a whole needs to knock off some of this stuff, and you're not going to get President Obama to repeal Obamacare because we threatened to shut down the government. Would President Bush have agreed to repeal the tax cuts if the Democrats had threatened to shut down the government?
Who is this liberal on Hannity's show? I thought he's supposed to be a Republican. Okay, also, kidding, of course, but did you hear what he had said? I'm also, not only is Sean Hannity now like Martin Luther King Jr. and Ronald Reagan, but he's also like Winston Churchill. Well, you got to stand up for what you believe in. Tax cuts for the rich. Deregulation on industry. Standing up for the corporations and making endless war. I love that stuff. I love that shit. And Lindsey Graham actually making sense by saying, dude, you're not gonna get Obama to repeal Obamacare. That's ridiculous. Knock it off. Awesome.